The weather has been great this fall in North Texas. Temperatures were neither too hot or cold, and that means that cross-country runners in McKinney ISD had ideal conditions to set some personal best times. Hello and welcome to Sports Talk. I'm Tyler Sloan. Today we'll review the girls cross-country season. Coaches Clay Davis from McKinney High, Laura Kihei from Boyd, and Jessica Richards from North will all be here to brag about their team's performance throughout the fall. Make sure your laces are tied tightly because we're about to take off on Sports Talk. Lions girls cross country team moved up to 10-5A this year from 4A last year. I'm joined by their head coach Clay Davis. And Coach, unfortunately, and the district media had a lot of injuries on your team, weren't able to do better than 6th place there, but a lot of younger classmen that were able to perform well at the district and a lot of optimism for next year's team.
A lot of optimism. First of all, thanks for having me. And we had a good year in my estimation. The goals that I had set for the girls, we surpassed. I underestimated how much running the 5K and training for it from the summer all the way up would change the landscape in 4 and 5A. But as you said, I had 6 of my top 8 returning girls that either weren't able to run or finish the district meet. And they weren't all running-related injuries, just various things that happened. And you can't foresee those things happening, but we remained competitive, and we had 2 freshmen that led the way, and I had 1 senior that did a really, really good job and provided valuable leadership for me all year long too. So we have a good base set for next year returning.
Coming into this year, that change from 2 miles to 5K running was certainly just a huge difference. How did you as a coach prepare your team for that, unbelievable change that's coming this year?
Well, the 2 mile is more of a sprint. I mean, there's more I guess value based on the start. The 5K, I didn't think there would be very much value based on the start, but you have 3 phases of the race. You have those 3 miles, and it's a true distance race, and therefore you have to alter your mileage and change your mileage a little bit more. So we did a little bit more than we've done in the past as far as the running goes. We didn't change anything else dramatically. We still did the same strength and core work that we always do, and we could probably do more of that. But as you said, there's a difference in philosophy of the 2 races. I thought we were prepared. I thought the kids did what I asked them to do, and we got better and better and better as the year went on until the injuries finally, mounted up to the point where we couldn't overcome those things. Although our kids fought and battled as hard as they could, I was real proud of them at the district meet. Even though we did not, accomplish our goal, I was very proud of the girls.
You obviously knew coming into this year with the talent that you lost from the previous season with Megan Shea moving on and among others, that the team was not going to quite have that pace setter at the front that was going to get those points for finishing so far ahead in the pack.
No doubt. I mean, ideally, you'd always want that person to be up in the front, because when you have a kid that finishes in the top 5, it's like counting 4 people instead of counting 5, because they have to count your top 5 scores to get your score. So we relied a little bit more on the kids to all run as a pack. And we worked on specific things in practice, and the kids bought in and did everything I asked them to do. I actually had more fun coaching this year than I've had in a long time. Not for any other reason except for the kids far surpassed the work ethic and all the things that I asked them to do. Just things kind of went well except for the fact with those injuries. And we definitely miss Megan and Tori and Laurel and Tara in that senior class. We can't replace them, but and the kids I told the girls whenever they left this summer, I said, part of your legacy is what you leave, what hands you leave the program in, and they did an excellent job leaving the program in good hands with the kids coming up and developing good attitudes with those girls and chemistry with those girls.
Who were the girls this year that had to step up and take the leadership role of this team and captain it?
I really relied a lot on, believe it or not, Amanda Jones and Erin Capretta have done, they're two kids that have been injured but have provided invaluable leadership and just phenomenal in the things that they do for me as a coach, the auxiliary things around the program. And I left a lot of things in their hands, and they're just, I'm going to miss those two when they're gone more than I can tell you. As far as the running part of it, I relied a lot on Devin McGuire, our only senior that ran at the district meet. Devin did an outstanding job for us all year long, had her best year by far as a senior this year. So she gets to leave here knowing that she did her very, very best. And she was injured at the district meet. She had, a problem that arose right before the district meet that didn't allow her to run her best, but she was invaluable with what she did as far as leading the girls this year in running.
That's really one of the things you try to do as a cross-country coach is work with a kid from the time they come in the program as a freshman to running their absolute very best time possible their senior year.
Mm-hmm. Well, and with the girls especially, that's a good point because a lot of times girls come in and run better as freshmen and sophomores. And I've been fortunate in the years that I've been at McKinney that our girls have progressed from the time that they're freshmen all the way up to their seniors. We seem to be getting as much or more of them as juniors and seniors, and then we get more participation from inside the campus and our numbers from the freshmen. Our numbers have risen over the last 4 to 5, 6 years pretty steadily, so that's always a good thing.
Where there's injury, there's also opportunities for others that wouldn't normally have the chance to be on the varsity team necessarily, step up and have to perform well. Who were those kids for you?
Well, first of all, we had, like I said before, we had several kids come out that I was unaware they were coming out. They came out from inside the campus, kids that didn't run last year that were in other sports or in the hallways and decided they wanted to run. And we had some kids on the JV like Allison Ainsworth and Julia Metzger that did a really, really good job for us this year in helping with the JV and providing us some depth down there in case we needed to run a second varsity. They moved up. But we had one young lady who's in that category, Melissa Charter, who stepped up in the first year she's ran and ran on the district at the district meet this year. And she, not because of any other reason except for just her work ethic and her desire and motivation, moved herself up, steadily up the ladder until she got that opportunity. But we had two freshmen as well that were my two leaders on my team pretty much all year long, and that was Haley Price and Taylor Duranzi. Those two kids did an outstanding job and ran my two best times of the year this year on the varsity.
You mentioned losing one senior, after this year. So the expectations for next year with so many runners returning, we've got to set the bar very high.
No doubt. We are going to. I know that after being at the regional meet for 4 years, to finish last in the district this year didn't sit well with me at all. And I know that the girls weren't happy. And one thing you always tell your kids is that when you leave, if you've done your best when you get on the bus, there's no more than anybody could ask of you. And I was okay with the district because even though we got last place, I felt like every kid that we put out there on the field did everything they possibly could individually and as a team to be as good as we could possibly be. Everybody left it out there. And that's all you can ask as a coach. And that's what I got from my kids all year this year. We gave everything we had. And because of that, I'm okay. I was okay with where we finished. I expect next year with the additions of the kids that we have coming up and the kids that we have that should be eligible, healthy next year, to drastically improve from where we finished this year.
How many of your runners are going to be running in the track season, and how much do they benefit from running track in the spring for the fall cross-country season?
Oh, that's two good questions. Well, first of all, I have less kids running track than I do in cross-country because we have a lot of kids that run cross-country in the fall that play soccer, or Devin even went into swimming, and she's in tennis. She's doing 3 sports this year. And she's actually made the varsity swim team for us, for McKinney High. So she's I think we need to get her on the bike, and we might be able to make a triathlete out of her, but outstanding kid. But we have other kids that are in soccer, so we lose some of our kids, but they do come back and train periodically, certain days of the week with me during the spring because we use the track season as a springboard to get our times down in track and to build confidence so we can run faster, so that when we start during the summer, that we have that as a springboard into our next season, which is next fall cross-country season.
Well, Coach, thanks again for joining us, and I have no doubt your team next year is going to be one to beat in District 10-5A, the McKinney Lions girls cross-country team, and head coach Clay Davis.
Thank you.